girls wind up on the dance floor.
Right. Oh, what a strike that is!
Sorry about that, guys. Late FC back again, but we're here. We're here. Late FC has returned. Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually done back-to-back streams in the course of a few days, but we're back for the new season. Last season flopped massively. I'm not gonna lie, especially the first half of the season. But we're back. I'm just gonna have a look at my streams, because when was the last time? Before I streamed on 4 days ago, when was that? I have no idea when that was. I think it was Saturday. I hadn't streamed for 3 months. So yeah, late inconsistent FC. We're here. We're here for it. You could say we were late FC during America with all the preseason games kicking off late. It's all about the extra ad revenue. Ignore the hair, please. But anyway, you're here for my Premier League predictions. So I'm going to bring them to you. We'll just go through the chat first. Jordan in the chat, big up. Yes, Josh is in the chat as well. If you want to come on at the end of the stream, if you're available to, guys, anyone's welcome. Arsenal winning the league. You'll see where I've put them. Class intro. Thanks. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh. Jordan, bigging up Josh as well. Guys, go and vote for Josh. By the way, I put the link in the chat, but one, I don't want to lose my viewers. No disrespect, Josh. And two, anytime I put any sort of link in the chat, it completely blocks it out. So we're going to have to go without that. But here we are, Premier League predictions. We have, of course, the 20 teams that will be competing this year. We have relegated. Could you call, well, all of these like different places, 5 to 8th, 9 to 12th, so like mid-table, European places. Oh, no. No, 8th don't get Europe. What am I on about? And then just about avoiding relegation. And then, of course, we've got the top 4 who will get Champions League football and the winners of the Premier League. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Man City? Is it going to be Arsenal, Liverpool, Ipswich Town, Leicester City? Never know. I can tell you one thing, though. It's definitely not Tottenham or Liverpool or Chelsea. So, give me 2 seconds. Here we go. Bosh. Here we go. There we land. Let's get right into this. 20th place in the bottom 3, relegated. I'm going to go 20th and up. 20th place. I mean, it's got to be one of the bottom, like, it's got to be one of the teams that have just come up from the Championship, really, because Southampton, nah, they're not it. Ipswich Town, I think they're going to have a similar story to Luton, to what Luton had last season. And Leicester, to be fair, we have seen Leicester in the Premier League, but no, they don't look it either. But for me, 20th place, I'm going with Ipswich Town. Ed Sheeran fans, please do not hate me. Ed Sheeran FC. You know, they've literally got Ed Sheeran on the shirt sponsor. So, yeah, Ipswich Town, I've got respect for them, you know, but they're the same as Luton, really, aren't they? Except Luton didn't finish bottom of the league. Ipswich will. Moving on, 19th place. I've gone with the Saints, Southampton. swap those guys around. If they manage to sign someone like Aaron Ramsdale, I think it'll be a different story. But as it stands, I mean, let's have a look at Southampton's squad, shall we? Because it's just dead wood, isn't it? Dead wood and average players, which, if you want to stay up in this league, is not good enough. I've signed Brendan Diaz, which I rate. Well, they have made some good transfers, to be fair. You know, experience like Adam Lallana, young talent like Downers from West Ham, who actually played for them on loan last season in the Championship, so we'll probably already have links in that squad. Nathan Wood, I remember Arsenal linked with him. Yeah. Hardwood Bellis. You know, they've made some good signings. It's just the squad overall, it's just average. It's just average. Russell Martin, does he actually have any Premier League experience? You know, Bella Kotchat, if they can keep Bella Kotchat, that's big, but you know, their midfield lacking massively. They're not going to have James Ward-Prowse this season. So, yeah, for me, Southampton will get relegated. Luca MK Dons is in the chat. No more Luca AFC. No more Edu out. No more Arteta critics. Luca MK Dons now. Big up, Luca. But 18th place. This might come a bit of a surprise for some people. A bit of a surprise for 18th place. But for me, Nottingham Forest are going to get 18th place and they will get relegated. Yeah, it's about time they got relegated. It's about time Everton got relegated. Yeah, I'd be happy with Everton getting relegated because I don't really like Everton as a club. It's about time they went down. But for me, Nottingham Forest, I don't rate their manager. Goalkeeper department, yes, it has decreased. I think they now have a stable goalkeeper department compared to what they had last season. But no, I mean, they've got a good squad. Like, I rate their squad, and they've made good signings, and they've got a good squad. But you know, we've seen over the last few years since they were first in the Premier League, the lack of any sort of chemistry between them, and it's been individual performances that have kept them up in the league. So for me, Nottingham Forest to get relegated, and in 17th place, the Foxes, scraping relegation, scraping it, just about scraping it for me. Yeah, let's have a look at Leicester. Transfers, Buonanotte from Brighton, who was incredibly average last season. Bobby Reed, I guess it's a decent signing on a free. He brings experience. Fatawu, I know he had a good season last season in the Championship. So that was big for them to get done permanently. But they've lost their manager. They've lost their style of play. I don't think they'll do anything special this season. I really don't. So 16th place, I've gone with the Toffees, Everton, to get 16th place. I mean, they've been in relegation fights for years and years now, it feels. Where did they finish last season? Did they finish 16th? I want to say they finished 16th. They finished 15th. And that was with a points deduction. I think without the points deduction, they would have been fine last season and comfortably stayed up. But signings like Jake O'Brien, I think that kind of indicates a potential Jared Braunthwaite replacement. So we don't know if he's going to be leaving or not, which would be a big blow for Everton. Lindstrom on loan, I rate that signing. I remember Arsenal were looking at him last year. Undayi from Marseille. I mean, he was good in the Championship, but he might just be average, mid in the Prem. We haven't really seen him do it in the Prem. And then Timmy Robingham, a young one for the future, I'd say. And the problem with that signing is Sean Dyche does not give opportunities to these young players. So there's going to be a problem there with Timo Robingham unless they've signed him to be Onana's replacement, which I think is a good replacement, but it just depends if he actually plays this season. And then 15th place, I've gone with the Bees, Brentford. I think they'd take 15th place. I think they could finish higher. I think 15th, potentially, you could view that as harsh. I don't. Thiago, what's his name? Thiago, the new striker. It's Thiago something, isn't it? Thiago. What's his name? I actually do not know what's his name. Oh, this is annoying me. It's Thiago something, right? Brentford squad. It's coming up as Thiago Rodri. I don't think it's Thiago Rodri. But anyway, Brentford. I think they'll be fine. To put it short, I think they'll be fine. They've just signed Fabio Carvalho, from Liverpool, on a permanent deal, by the way. Absolute steal. I think he's a baller. They have signed a striker to potentially replace Ivan Toney, but I think their problem. I don't really rate Mark Flecken as a goalkeeper. I don't really rate. I rate Pinnock at the back, but other than that, the defense is quite light. They're going to struggle without Rico Henry and Aaron Hickey if they're out for a long time. Nathan Collins is average. Ben Mee is Ben Mee. So for me, 15th. I think they take 15th. 14th. I've gone with the mighty Wolverhampton Wanderers. Right. Listen, okay. They've lost their best player in Pedro Neto. When fit, he is a part of one of the best front threes in the league. When they're all playing well together. Mateus Cunha, Hwang Hee-chan, and Pedro Neto. It's going to be a real struggle to replace Pedro Neto. But hear me out, Wolves, yeah? If you want someone, we got Reece Nelson. Yeah, take Reece Nelson, please. I'm sure you'd love him. But, yeah, Wolves 14th. I don't think that's bad, considering, Gary O'Neill. They finished 14th last year as well. So I think it will be another 14th place finish. But again, heavily linked with Aaron Ramsdale. So if they can sign Aaron Ramsdale, they'll finish higher, no doubt in my mind. But, they're still playing Craig Dawson at the back. They've lost Max Kilman. They could be in a better spot right now. I think it's fair to say. But I think short term, I think Sarabia will do a good job to replace Pedro Neto. But long term, they still need a replacement. 13th, I've gone with AFC Bournemouth. Now, they lost Dominic Solanke. They're replacing him with, I think his name's Everson. Is it Everson? Something like that. Porto striker. But Dominic Solanke, one of the best strikers in the league, has now joined Tottenham. So yeah, it's a big loss for Bournemouth. But they've still got, Marcus Tavernier, Luis Sinisterra, Semenyo. So I think they won't be in trouble. I think they'll comfortably stay up, Bournemouth. To 12th, I've gone with the Blues. Chelsea. Chelsea, 12th. Wow. I've actually gone with Chelsea to finish 12th. I mean, you can't really argue with it, can you? Yet again, more £200 million, whatever it is, that they've spent this summer after the £1 billion they spent last summer, £1 billion they spent the season before that, signing Pedro Neto, who is very injury prone. Who else they signed? Jorgensen. They got about 8 goalkeepers. Overall, I think their squad is over 40 players long. Their squad is bigger than 40, I should say, their squad capacity. And you can only have a 25-man squad in a Premier League registered. So they're going to struggle there. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, I think that's a good signing because he's previously worked with Enzo Maresca, so I know what we're doing. Tosin Adarabioyo, I think that's a good signing for free, but he's only good if he's going to be playing, and depends if he's going to be playing. So yeah, and in terms of players out, like they haven't really got rid of anyone important. You know, they've cheated their way through it with selling Ian Matson and Lewis Hall for high prices, which arguably they're not worth. But yeah, they've also lost Thiago Silva as well. It was a big part of Chelsea, really. But in 11th, I've gone with Fulham. Fulham are going to finish above Chelsea. Yeah. And Smith Rowe is going to outscore half of Chelsea's squad. Yeah. The majority of Chelsea's squad. Yeah. I rate that. Emil Smith Rowe. Yeah. They've also signed this Villarreal centre back, Ryan Sessegnon, to come in on a free. So yeah, I rate their business and what they've done for them. Obviously they've lost Tim Ream, João Palhinha, Adarabioyo. But look, I think they'll be fine. Comfortably stay up, comfortably mid-table. I think we can see Fulham pushing up the table in a few seasons, pushing for the Europa Conference League, Europa League, and maybe even the top 4 at some point. It'll be interesting to see where Fulham go as a club in the near future. 10th, I've gone with the Seagulls. Yeah, Brighton will get mid-table, spot on mid-table. Pretty self-explanatory. Mid club, mid players, new manager who has no Premier League experience. It's going to take time for everything to settle in. I think 10th is a good finish for them, honestly. I do not really rate Brighton much at all. 9th, quite an interesting one. I think they've won the transfer window as it stands. West Ham United to finish 9th. I think they could finish even higher than 9th, to be completely honest. But listen, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Toribio, Gida Rodriguez, Nicholas Fruckham, yeah, Somerville, Fodringham, Kilman, yeah. They've got rid of what's his name, Calvin Phillips, yeah. They're winning the transfer window as it stands, and this is big for them. This is big for them. I think they've got a really good squad now. They've made signings. They're showing ambition with these signings. So for me, 9th place. I think West Ham are doing well and they're in a very good position. 8th, gone with Newcastle, Anton Deck FC, to finish 8th. I think they're struggling with FFP and PSR. But that means they've only signed Wait, what? They signed John Roddy. I did not know this. They've signed a free agent goalkeeper from Birmingham. They've signed like Kelly Lewis Hall on a permanent deal. Osula as well. Osula's average, man. Like, he did nothing for Sheffield United last season. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what kind of role he plays in the squad this season, but he is insanely average. 7th place, my dark horse, Crystal Palace, will finish in 7th. And that means they could potentially get European football. Yeah, Crystal Palace could potentially be going on a European tour if they keep Mark Gahey, if they keep Iberieze, if they keep Anderson at the back. You know, they've got a strong goalkeeping department. Yeah, Dean Henderson, Sam Johnson. Yeah, one of the best goalkeeping departments in the league. They've got Mark Gahey, they've got Tyrek Mitchell, Anderson, Holding, Chris Richards. Defence, fine. Midfielders, Kamada on a free. Yeah, Jefferson Lerma's still there. Decore is coming back. Adam Wharton, Eberieze, as I mentioned. Yeah, and up front, John Philippe Mateta, who balled out. Mateus França, who we haven't seen the best of yet. And that will be coming from Mateus França at some point. Ismail Assar as well. They've literally just signed him. Eduardo's depth. Jordan Ayew's. I think Jordan Ayew's still there. Should be. And Jeffrey Schlupp as well still there. So I think Crystal Palace. European tour on the cards, lads. Yeah. Get your passports, get your suitcases. European tour potentially on the cards next year. 6th place, going Manchester United. You know, I think they've had a decent transfer window, but nothing better than decent. What's this? I've just had a message pop up. Goodbye. But they've had a decent transfer window. Nothing better than decent, really. Joshua Zirkzee, decent player. I think thinking about it, they've actually had quite a good transfer window, haven't they? Especially in the back line. Mazraoui, De Ligt, Lenny Yoro. Yeah. A few seasons' time, I think they could be something to look out for, but at the moment, not yet. Not yet. 5th place, I've gone with Tottenham. Tottenham Hotspur. Who actually have they actually signed anyone? Who have they actually signed? I've gone blank. Who have they actually signed? Because you can tell if you don't recall them signing anyone, they've probably not had a very good window. Solanke. That's the big one. Dominic Solanke. Dominic Solanke is a Tottenham player. I think that's a very good signing. £65 million. I think he'll come very good. People say, "Oh, we only got 20 goals in one season," but I think he's going to have a big season. Jed Spence looks like he's coming back. Archie Gray, definitely one for the future. Timo Werner. He's not really going to do anything. And the other midfielder that they've signed, again, one for the future. So 5th place, I think, is fair for Tottenham. 4th place, I've gone with Liverpool. I think Andre Slot, I think he'll come good at some point, but it's going to be a season of transition for Liverpool, and I think they take a top 4 finish. 3rd place, Aston Villa. Good evening. They've had a very good transfer window. Bringing in Ian Maatson, Amadou Onana, Ross Barkley, Cameron Archer. the whole City winger, Erling Jr., Enzo Brescia, I think his name is, Lewis Dobbin as well. So yeah, they've bought for the future and they've bought for the current day. So yeah, I think they've had a very good window, and they've also been able to sell Diaby for what they bought him for. Felipe Coutinho still plays football. I think the big loss though is Douglas Luiz. Yeah, very hard player to replace. But third place for Aston Villa, improvement on last season. But who's going to win the league? Second place, I've gone with. Who have I gone with? Who have I gone with? Who have I gone with? I've gone with Manchester City to finish here. No, they're finishing second, which means it is time for Arsenal to win the Premier League. Please just win something. The Premier League would be very nice. Yeah. I mean, that's all I really got to say, really. But yeah, that is my Premier League predictions. That is the list right there. Thank you for watching if you made it to the end. And I will see you all when the season starts, probably.